Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna take up these word problems. Homework check tomorrow on the whole package. Calculate the volume of this container. So for all of these word problems, the best thing to do for the first step is to draw a diagram. Okay, so a cylindrical water storage tank means that you should draw a cylinder, radius 1, height 5. Okay, so what's the volume formula for a cylinder? Yep, Vincent? Pi r squared times the height, right? The circle times the height would give you the volume of the cylinder. So 3.14 times my radius is 1 square times height, which is 5. Diana, what did you get?
I got 15.71.
15.71. What's my unit?
Meters cubed.
Meters cube. Perfect. Because it's volume, make sure it's meters cube, centimeter cube, inches cube, all that. Right? What would happen if the height was doubled? So instead of 5, now it's 10, and the radius was half. So instead of 1, it's 0.5. So same formula, it's still a cylinder. So 3.14 times 0.5 squared times 10. And Leanne, what did you get? 31.4 meters cubed. Okay, what do you notice? What do you notice about the volume? How much? Double. Yeah, it's doubled. It's doubled because your height is doubled. Right? Okay. So this one, let's say it can only fill 90% of the whole cylinder. Use your answer from part A. So 90% of 15.71 meter cube. When you times it, 90%, 0.9 of means times. So when you times it, you get 0.9 times 15.7, 14.13, actually 0.9 times. On the test, I'll let you guys know what to round to. Most likely 1 decimal place. Okay, so this one, actually, when I round it, it goes to this. So that means I can fill it up to 14.14 meters cube. Okay. Number 2. Again, you're not given a diagram, so draw a diagram, especially when you have to compare two shapes. So this one, sugar cone. We have a diameter, which is 2 inch. And then, so volume of a cone. What's the formula for volume of a cone? Yep.
It's 1/3 pi r squared times 5.
Perfect. Where have we seen this before? Pi r squared h. That sounds very familiar. Didn't we say that like a minute ago? Volume of a cylinder. So when you divide that by 3, you give the volume of the cone. So in other words, the volume of a cone is 1/3 of a cylinder. Keep that in mind. Okay, so some of you might like to do the 1/3 first. Some of you like to do this first and then divide it by 3. It's the same thing. So 3.14 times radius. What's my radius here? Yep, 1 because you're given diameter. So 1 squared times 5 divided by 3. Oh, 3.14 times 1 times 1 times 5. And then don't forget to divide by 3. You get 5.2 cubic inch. Okay. For this one, which cone is wider? The sugar cone or the waffle cone? Yeah. the waffle cone. Even though it's 1.3, but remember this is radius, this is diameter. So that means your diameter here is actually 2.6, which is wider. All right, so 3.14 times 1.3 squared times 4.2 as the height, everything divided by 3. When you do this on your calculator, I don't like to use the square button. I just like to times it by another one of these. So 3.14 times 1.3 times 1.3 times 4.2 divided by 3. So I can actually do everything in one line when I just do the 1.3 times 1.3 and then divide by 3. And I'll get 7.4 cubic inch. Okay, so which one holds more ice cream? This one. Alright, so don't forget to answer the question. You show all the work, you did everything, but don't forget to say which one gives you more ice cream. Okay. On the back, number 3 here, a cubic cardbox box has a volume of 10. What's that? There's a mistake in this question. Where's the mistake? There's a mistake in this question. Marina, do you know the mistake? Okay. Isaac, can you point out what my mistake is in this question? It's not a spelling error. Number 3. Where's my mistake? Andre, can you spot it? Right. Volume has to be cube. So my unit was wrong here. So a cubic cardboard box means that all the length, width, and height, they're all the same. So the formula for volume of a cube is V equals V cubed. Okay. I know my volume is 10. Right, so if I want to solve for B, what do I do? What's the opposite of cube? Yeah. Not square. Square, the opposite of square is square root. So the opposite of cube is cube root. That's right. Alright, how do you do cube root on the calculator? Alright, we do have this button right here. You see there's an X on the outside of the square root. So it means like if you want a 4th root, you press a 4. If you want a 10th root, you press the 10. So that's what that X is. So we want the cube root, so we do 3. And then second, that button. So now you can see the 3 is on the outside. And then that. And it will give you about 2.15. So we'll round to 1 decimal place. So we'll say 2.2. Since we're talking about on length, it's just meters. So in other words, if I were to do like 2.2 times 2.2 times 2.2, I should get about 10. Okay. I rounded it, so it's not very accurate, but on the test, again, I will tell you guys what to round to. Okay. And number 4, Margaret, she bought new shoes and placed them in a shoe box that's 33 centimeters, 19 centimeters, and 0.1 meters high. Calculate the volume and surface area of this box. Okay, so first step, what's your very first step? Yep. Okay, I could write the formula for what?
For the surface area of the
Okay. The question right here, I actually asked for both. So make sure when you solve it, you solve for both. I know people like just read half of the question, like this or like that. So make sure read the question carefully. So my very first step, I should draw the diagram. Second thing that I should pick up before I even jump into the formula. Something's wrong with this diagram. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Conversion. What we were working on for the last few days. So what is 0.1 meters in centimeters? Yeah, 10 centimeters. Okay, so make sure you convert. That's the same as 10 centimeters. Now we can do the formulas. Volume is actually easier to do, so I'll just do that one first. Volume of a rectangular prism. This rectangular prism, volume, length times width times height. And then for surface area is this formula. Length times width times height. So doesn't matter which one I call length, which one I call width, which one I call height. All good? Oh, yes. 1, 2, yeah. Yep, it's right here. Okay, so doesn't matter which one I call length, width, or height. Remember the little trick that I said? I like to write the label, my length, width, and height, so that I don't plug in the wrong thing. So length 33, width 19, height 10. So when I multiply 33 times 19 times 10, I get 6,270. What's my unit here? Vincent, what's my unit? It's volume cube. Good. Centimeters cube. Okay. Again, I'm asked two parts. This is a two-part question, so surface area now. Surface area equal, looking at my formula sheet, I see it's 2 times width times height plus length times width plus length times height. Right? So width was 19 times 10 plus 33 times 19 plus 33 times 10. Okay. What's the tricky part to this? Can I just do the 2 times 19 times 10 and then add 33 times 19 like that? What do you have to be careful with here? Inside the bracket first, bed math. So brackets, multiplication, addition, and then times it by 2. Okay, so 19 times 10, you get 190, plus 33 times 19, you get 817, plus 33 times 10, you get this. So 2 times 1147. Then multiply it by 2. You get 2294. So Vincent, what's my unit for surface area? Centimeters square. Good job. Okay, so you can see this one is not hard. You're just plugging in numbers into a formula, but be very careful with bed math. Okay, people forget about that sometimes. Okay, number 5. What shape is this? Yep, rectangular prism. Yep, so rectangular prism where you're given the volume, so you want to use this formula for rectangular prism. So V equals length times width times height. I know what V is. It's 70,000. I know what length is 40. I know what width is 50. And I don't know the height. So I have this. Okay. So let's clean it up. 40 times 50. 40 times 50. I get 2,000. So 2,000 H. So how do I solve for H now from this? That's it. Divide it. So 70,000 divided by 2,000 would isolate the H by itself. Oops. 70,000 divided by 2,000, you get 30 5. What's my unit here? What's my unit? Centimeters. Good, because I'm just solving for length right here. The height is no square, no cube. It's just centimeters. And now this last one, saving the best for last. Okay, this one, I'm telling you, you'll see a question similar to this on the test. The Great Pyramid has a square base measuring 230 meters on each side. It has a height of 147 meters. Determine the surface area. So this one is called a square base pyramid. If you look on your formula sheet, square base pyramid. Oh, there it is. I see 4 lines right here. What's my formula? Yep. It's the one on the bottom, the very last one. Perfect. Good. Okay. These are just explaining to you how they came up with the formula. So again, just take the last of the formula. So I have surface area equals b squared plus 2bs. Okay. The base. How wide is the base? Yeah, 230. 2 times 230 times. What's the slanted height? The length of the slanted height. Sorry? No, that's the height. So see, that's why I say this is a tricky question. The height is 147. What abbreviation do we use for height? H, right? H for height. I want an S right here, so it's not 147. The S is this slanted height right here, right? So if I were to open this up and draw a net, I actually have a right angle triangle then. Okay, so whenever we have an unknown side, what do we do? Pythagorean theorem. That's right. So if I were to redraw this triangle out, my height is 147. I need to find the slanted height, this. What's the base of the right angle triangle then? Sorry? 115. Excellent. It's half of the whole base right here. So this is actually 115. This is the tricky part. Okay. So since I'm looking for the hypotenuse, I'm doing the adding. So c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So c equals the square root of 147 times 147 plus 115 times 115. 34834. So when I square root it, I get 186.6. Right? And that's my slanted height. So I put it in here. Okay. So 230 times 230 plus 2 times 230 times 186.6. 138,736 meters squared. Right? Will you see a question like this on the test? Yes. Okay. Does that mean on the test I'm gonna just for sure gonna see a square base pyramid and then I have to do this? Oh, if you take a look at your formula sheet, this Pythagorean theorem thing, I can apply it to a lot of shape, not just a square-based pyramid. Looking at the cone, see, I see a right angle triangle. So I could put it in a cone question. I could put it in a square-based pyramid. I could put it in a triangular-based pyramid. Right? So just remember, whenever you're not given a dimension, you have to use Pythagorean theorem. It's simple as that. Okay, I'll go back to this. Okay, so those were the 6 word problems. Don't forget, I am doing homework check tomorrow on the rest of the package, so make sure you finish it all. Okay, I took up the hardest parts with you guys. I recorded this video for those who weren't here today on the trip. Okay, so you guys can always refer back to this video if you have any questions.